I know my brother Michael Alfred right here shares the same experience almost, of asking for truth and then getting the truth and holding on to it. Because some people, they'll get the truth, but some other wind of doctrine may come in, from somebody rather older thinking they know, or somebody think that they have been in it longer than what we have and misguide us on something else, so I just thank the Most High that I'm staying in this sound truth of what I got and what Brother Michael has received from the Most High. The title of this message is going to be, Who Are the Negroes in the Bible? Why are we oppressed? And how do we rise up in the latter days? All right, and all this plays a part in end-time prophecy. All right, we got to know who the African American Negroes are in the Bible to even try to break down prophecies dealing with the latter days. If we don't know who we are, everything is just gonna shamble. You might have bits and pieces, but you're gonna miss something. That brings it all together. That's a lot of conspiracy theorists have a lot of things right, but they're missing that key point of who the chosen people really are. That gets them on another path that leads them astray. All right, so right now we're going to go into the question, who are the Negroes, the Ham misconception. All right, who are the Negroes, the Ham misconception. All right, we're going to start at Genesis, the 10th chapter. Genesis 10, we're going to start at verse 6.
Genesis chapter 10, verse 6. And the sons of Ham, Cush, and Mizraim, and Phut, and Canaan.
All right, it says Ham, the sons of Ham are Cush, Mizraim, Phut or Puwut, and Canaan. All right, these sons are who the scholars and theologians say the dark races come from. All right, the sons of Ham are Cush, Mizraim, Puwut or Phut, and Canaan. All right, these are who they say that the African Americans come from as well, because we are a dark complected people. All right, but there's some controversy within there. They try to categorize us just because we are a dark skin or have dark complexion. All right, and then when we go into why are we from Ham, all right, the proper breakdown, it says the African American Negro come from Ham because of Noah's curse upon Ham. So that's how they say and categorize our slavery. All right, why did we go through slavery when we ask certain theologians, all right, and scholars, all right? But we must have precept on precept, line on line. Or you just can't give one precept to categorize us as Ham because of the curse of Canaan. All right, we got to have 2 or 3 witnesses. All right, so let's go to the curse of Ham in Genesis, the 20th chapter, verse 25. Genesis 20:25.
It was 9:25.
Oh, 9:25. Okay. My apologies. 9:25. Had it down wrong in my notes. All right. All right, brother, read for me if you will.
All right, Genesis chapter 9, verse 25. And it says, And he said, Cursed be Canaan, a servant of servants shall he be unto his brethren.
All right, it says, And cursed be Canaan, a servant of servants shall he be unto his brethren. All right. So when we ask certain pastors, preachers, and theologians, give me the proper breakdown to who we are, they automatically go to this verse right here, because we served in America. All right. We were slaves in America, and this is what they hang their hat on for us. But this is the only precept they have for that. All right. But we're going to find out that Canaan, all right, had already served this curse in the Old Testament. Canaan had already served the curse. All right, and let's go to that. It's going to be in Joshua 9 and 23. All right, because Canaan served two different ways. All right, Canaan served as far as land-wise for the Israelites. Canaan served land-wise for the Israelites. When they went into Canaan, all right, the land served them, the milk and honey. There was a form of Canaan serving. And also in Joshua 9:23. You got it, brother? Mm-hmm. All right, read it for me if you will.
Joshua chapter 9, verse 23. Now therefore ye are cursed, and there shall none of you be freed from being bondmen, and hewers of wood, and drawers of water for the house of the most of God.
All right, it says that they would be hewers of wood and drawers of water. Why? If you ever read this chapter in Joshua, all right, when the Israelites went on their excursion conquering the lands of Canaan, all right, these men lied to Joshua and the Israelites, saying that they were of a poor countenance, and they were poor, and they was coming to them on this journey from their land on a long ways, and that's why their clothes were torn off and raggedy looking. All right, but they lied to Joshua, saying that we were coming to try to bless you all. All right, but they had their clothes ripped themselves, lying and saying that they was on this long journey. All right, so anyways, Joshua found out about this lie, and so for that they cursed them, saying you were going to be hewers of wood and drawers of water in the land of Canaan, in their own land. All right, and this prophecy was fulfilled, saying that Canaan is the servant of servants. All right, and we can break that down properly to make sure that they are the Canaanites. The sons of Gibeon is who they are. All right, let's get that in Joshua 11:19. Joshua 11:19. We're going to go down the genealogy of Gibeon. Joshua 11:19. All right, brother.
Joshua chapter 11, verse 19. There was not a city that made peace with the children of Israel, save the Hivites, the inhabitants of Gibeon. All other they took in battle.
All right, it says, there was not a city that made peace with the children of Israel, save the Hivites, the inhabitants of Gibeon. All right, so the inhabitants of Gibeon are those people that was hewers of wood and drawers of water. All right, and then we can also go to Genesis 10, 15, 17. Because precept must be upon precept, line on line. Genesis 10, 15 through 17. So who are the Hivites? All right. All right, brother.
Genesis chapter 10, verse 15. And Canaan begat Sidon, his firstborn, and Heath, and the Jebusite, and the Amorite, and the Girgasite, and the Hivite, and the Acherite, and the Sinite.
All right, so the Hivite is a part of, is a direct descendant of Canaan. All right, so when Noah cursed Canaan, all right, and said that he was going to be the servant of servants, this is where that prophecy is about to be fulfilled at. Not only the land, but these people that's direct descendants from Canaan. There's going to be hewers of wood and drawers of water. So if this prophecy, all right, was filled back then, how can then they say, all right, we serve our enemies in this land right here? All right, if the prophecy has already been fulfilled back in Joshua's day. All right, this is where the misconception comes in. All right, because when we came over here on slave ships, all right, we had to forget all our history, everything, our speech. We couldn't read, we couldn't write, so we had a disconnect from our heritage. All right, so we can't depend on slave masters. I'm not being racist or anything like that, but we can't depend on slave masters to therefore tell us who we are. All right, because the only teaching for a slave is to tell him that he's always been a slave, to keep him a slave. All right, so we can't depend therefore on our slave masters to tell us who we are. We gotta ask the Most High for the truth, the wisdom and understanding. All right. So let's look in the Zondervan Bible Dictionary. All right. This is a Zondervan Bible Dictionary for anyone who don't know. All right. Zondervan was a Jewish scholar. All right. He has all his credentials, and this is a dictionary who we subscribe to. All right. Get it on the camera there. All right, and we're gonna look up ham in the Zondervan Bible Dictionary, and we're gonna read that.
All right, the definition for ham in the Zondervan Bible Dictionary, page 213. The youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood, and one of eight persons to live through the flood. He became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes.
Not the Negroes. Read that again.
He became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes.
Not the Negroes. So Ham became the progenitor of the dark races, but not the Negroes. And but who? Who though?
But the Egyptians.
The Egyptians. That's Mizraim. That's the ancient name for Egypt. That's the ancient name for Egypt. It's Mizraim. All right. Go ahead.
The Ethiopians.
The Ethiopians. That's Cush. All right, the sons of Cush are the Ethiopians. Go ahead.
Libyans.
The Libyans. Who else?
And Canaanites.
The Canaanites. The Libyans are of Put or Pawut, and the Canaanites. All right, but not the Negroes. So this Zondervan Bible Dictionary, by this Jewish scholar, saying that the African American Negro is not from Ham. So who are we then? That poses a question. All right. So let's look right quick in that same Zondervan Bible Dictionary, and we're going to go to Mizraim. All right, let's look up who Mizraim was and the Egyptians. All right, because this is a key benefactor to knowing who we are as a people. Not saying that we are the Egyptians, but by knowing who the Egyptians were or the Mizraim were, that's going to bring it home for us to know who we are. All right, so let's get Mizraim, the son of Ham.
Mizraim, in the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary, page 370. Son of Ham, Genesis 10 and 6, 13, 1 Chronicles 1 and 8 and 11. Progenitor of Egyptians, people of the North African Hamitic people of Canaan. Usual Hebrew word for Egypt.
All right, the usual Hebrew word for Egypt. What else you got? You got something else? Okay. It says the son of Ham. So we know the son of Ham, according to the Bible Dictionary, are a dark race of people, and that's who Mizraim came from. They were a dark race of people. If you go to Egypt now, they're a dark race of people. But in Hollywood, all right, they portrayed the Egyptians as a real light skin or Caucasian, if you will, all right, to throw us off to who we are as a people. Because if you throw off who the Egyptians look like and what they look like, you can throw off who we look like and who we are. All right. So why is this important to know who the Egyptians were and what they look like? All right. So let's go to Genesis, the 42nd chapter. Why is this important of how they look? And we're going to bring it in for you. And we can also know that the Egyptians and the Israelites look just alike. And we can prove that through the Bible. The Egyptians and the Israelites favored almost verbatim. All right, we're going to get that in Genesis, the 42nd chapter, verse 7. All right, brother.
Genesis chapter 42, verse 7. And Joseph saw his brethren, and he knew them, but made himself strange unto them, and spake roughly unto them. And he said unto them, Whence come ye? And they said, From the land of Canaan, to buy food.
All right, so it says Joseph knew his brethren. All right, he knew his brethren, but spake roughly to them. All right, so he spoke with a accent that wasn't his own. All right, he spoke meanly and harshly with them. All right, so let's say if I'm a brother that's coming to a city trying to get food and water because it's a famine in the land. We know it was a famine in the land in these days. All right, so if I'm a person that's coming to buy with somebody, all right, first of all, I'm gonna give my food to my people first. So this brother right here gonna have to wait. All right, I'm gonna speak harshly with you. Say, hey man, you're gonna have to be still first before I can give my the food to my people. All right, he spoke roughly with them, so to throw them off of who he really was. All right, and what else we got, brother?
And Joseph knew his brethren, but they knew him not.
It says, and Joseph knew his brethren, but they knew him not. Why is this? All right, when Joseph went into slavery, when his brother sold him into slavery, he was 17 years old. All right, at this time, he was in his 30s, so he looked different. And not only did he look different, he had the Egyptian garb on, and also they were a dark-complected people. All right, if the Israelites, or what we call Jewish people today, if they were a white race of people, his brethren would have said, hey, he looked familiar. He looked like one of us because he's European. All right, but since we know that the Egyptians was a dark race of people, the Israelites had to be dark as well because his brethren would have known who he was. All right, so they did not know. They knew him not because he was in the garments. He looked older, and not only did he look older, they had the same hue or the same skin complexion as the Egyptians. All right, but the only thing that separated the Egyptians was their raiment, their garments. All right, the garments of a Egyptian, you had on like a little, almost a dress, if you will, and a man always had a shirt off with a hat on. All right, if you were royalty, you had on the hat like King Tut. He always had on the hat, things of that nature. That's what the Egyptians looked like. But the Israelites dressed more modest. You know, they always had themselves covered. You know, almost every inch of their body was covered because they had morals about them. All right, and we got another example in Matthew to show you that the Israelites and the Egyptians looked alike. Matthew chapter 2, verse 13.
Matthew chapter 2.
Yeah, verse 13. Everybody there? All right, read that, brother.
All right, Matthew chapter 2, verse 13. And when they were departed, behold, the angel of the Lord appears to Joseph in a dream, saying, Arise, and take the young child and his mother, and flee into Egypt. And be thou there until I bring thee word, for Herod will seek the young child to destroy him.
All right, so the angel of the Most High told Joseph to flee into Egypt. All right, because Herod was looking for the man-child to destroy him. So God told Joseph to flee to Egypt. Why is this? So he could blend in amongst the Egyptian people. All right, the only way you can blend in amongst Egyptian people, because we know they were dark, is if you were dark yourself. So you can, so if somebody was trying to look for you throughout all the crowds and multitudes of dark people, you would blend in. So if he was European, or if Christ was European, all they had to look for in Egypt was a European man, woman, and a child. You get what I'm saying? To find him out. Hey, there he is right there. He stick out like a sore thumb. You know? So this is a way that we know that the Israelites and the Egyptians looked alike in the same skin complexion, and not what they show on Hollywood. All right? We had another one, but for the sake of time, we're going to go on to how can the Hebrew be proven to be dark complected. All right, so how can they be proven to be dark complected? We're going to go right back to the Zondervan Bible Dictionary. All right, for the definition of ruddy. All right, that's what Esau was. Esau was a ruddy man. He came out ruddy like a hairy garment. All right, so this Bible Dictionary is going to break down what ruddy means.
All right, ruddy. In this Zondervan Comeback Bible Dictionary, page 510. Ruddy, a word used to refer to a red or fair complexion, in contrast to the dark skin of the Hebrews. In contrast to the dark skin of the Hebrews. So Esau was a ruddy, a fair complected man. And if you look up on your phone or on Google, just type in Google, type in fair complexion. It's going to bring up Europeans, all right, of a fair complexion. That's who Esau is in the Bible. Esau are European people, all right, as opposed to the dark skin of the Hebrews. And that's coming right out of the Zondervan Bible Dictionary. All right, that's not my words. You know, that's a Jewish scholar's words, all right, that he has put together and compiled in this dictionary. All right, so the Israelites, according to the Zondervan, are of dark complected people. All right. So how do we fit the bill that we are the Israelites in this day and time? If we're posing this question or posing this information, we are the Israelites, we're going to have to back it up somehow. And the only way that we can back it up is through the Bible. All right? And we're going to go to Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, verse 15. It's all right. It's all right.
What chapter?
Deuteronomy 28:15. All right, everybody got it?
28.
28, we're going to start at verse 15. All right, brother.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
All right, so this is the curses for disobedience. All right, in the prior chapter, in verse 1 until 14, the Most High God showed them all the blessings that he would give them if they did his will by following the commandments of his word. But if they disobeyed, there will be curses. And we all know, if you read the Bible, that the Israelites disobeyed the Most High God time and time again. All right, so we're going to go through some of these curses. All right, let's go to Deuteronomy 28 and 46. All right, read that, brother.
Deuteronomy 28 and verse 46. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever.
All right, so it says, and they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever. So once we wake up in the latter days, as we are in now, all right, these will be upon us for a sign and for a wonder, so we can get back to who we are. Through these curses, all right, that our forefathers went through, there was a sign that we can retrace our steps. Okay, we suffered this, we suffered that. This talking about us. This is a sign. This is a wonder for who the children of Israel will be in the latter days. All right. And so let's get some of these curses that they went through. Let's go to 28, stay in 28, verse 64 through 68. We're going to get some of the main curses. We can't go through all of them. We'll be here for about 5 hours. All right, 28, Deuteronomy 28, starting at 64.
Deuteronomy 28, verse 64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people, from one end of the earth even unto the other. And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone.
All right. So it says the Most High will scatter his people. They will no longer be in the land that they were. He's going to scatter them throughout the 4 corners of the earth. All right. And it says, even wood and stone thou shalt serve. All right. So what's a part of this wood and stone? What are the 2 main religions, all right, that are in the world today? You have modern day Christianity that has the cross. And different segments of Christianity, they worship the cross. All right. They always have it on them. You know, they bow down to it. You know, and the stone, all right, the second major religion is Islam. All right. If you go to Mecca, they bow down to a Kaaba stone. All right. They walk in a circle around this box, and then they bow down to this stone. So the Most High knew that we would serve the cross, all right, and we would serve the stone, or the Kaaba stone. All right. But the Most High told us not to make any graven images.
That's right.
All right? You know, not to get it confused that we're not Christian or anything like that, but we got to know that we're not supposed to make any graven images, no matter what it is. All right? Then go ahead, brother.
Verse 65. And among these nations shalt thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest. But the Lord shall give thee there a trembling heart, and failing of eyes, and sorrow of mind. And thy life shall hang in doubt before thee, and thou shalt fear day and night, and shalt have none assurance of thy life. In the morning thou shalt say, Would God it were evening. And at even thou shalt say, Would God it were evening. It were morning. For the fear of thine heart, wherewith thou shalt fear, and for the sight of thine eyes, which thou shalt see.
All right, it says that we're going to say, man, I wish it was morning time. Or man, I wish it was the evening time. You know, we serving our people in these lands. You know, once we get to work, we ready to get off of work. Once we off of work, man, kids being bad, we can't wait to get back to work. You know, so, man, I wish it was evening. Man, I'm ready to get off work. Man, I'm ready to get home. Man, I'm ready to get back to work. We can't make up our minds, you know, because we're serving in a strange land. All right, keep reading, brother.
Verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
All right, it says, and the Most High, or the Lord, shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. All right, if you break down the word Egypt, all right, Egypt means bondage. All right, Egypt means bondage. And if you look up on Google, you can type this in on Google. If you type in Little Egypt, all right, 3 states in America are named, 3 cities in America are named Little Egypt. All right, and also America has fashioned itself after ancient Egypt. All right, in ancient Egypt you have a main river. All right, it's the Nile River. All right, that goes almost halfway down the Africa, the continent of Africa. All right, and over here you have the Mississippi River that goes all from the top all the way down. Those are 2 major bodies of water that reach the ocean. All right, and in Egypt you have a city called Memphis, right, that's known for its pyramids. And over here you have a city called Memphis that's known for its pyramid that is set right there on the water, just fashioning itself just like ancient Egypt and ancient times. All right, so let's keep reading, brother.
I'm going to read verse 68 again. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. And by the way thereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen.
We will be sold into our enemies for bondmen and bondwomen. If you look up what a bondman is, it's a slave. If you look up what a bondwoman is, it's a slave woman. All right, so we're going to be sold into our enemies as slaves. All right, and he's going to bring us into Egypt with ships. All right, So we're going to be taken from one land to another, bound and being sold with ships. All right. If you ever look up history, all right, African American Negroes are the only people, and the people of the Caribbean islands and places like that, Haiti, we're the only people that were sold, all right, and brought into a land from another with ships. All right, the only people. The only people. All right, and go ahead, brother.
And no man shall buy you.
And no man shall buy us. What this means is, this is Quaker English for no man shall redeem you. All right, and by redeem, we had so many other men before our time. We had Marcus Garvey, we had Malcolm X, we had Martin Luther King, Farrakhan. You know, all these men that have stood before the people, but yet we're still in our same situation. We're still working a 9 to 5. We're still ready to get off work. We don't have anything to ourselves. You get what I'm saying? No man has redeemed us out of our situation. All right, it may look like we have came a long way, which we have. All right, but we're still in the same predicament that we're in. We still have police killing and shooting our people off the street. We still have racism, even though it's under the surface, it's still there. You get what? So we're still in the same situation. No man has redeemed us out of our situation. All right, and let's go to let's look and see who took us. All right, because the Bible even specifies who took us from the land. All right, and it's in let's go to let's go to Joel, the 3rd chapter. All right, everybody got it? I'll read that, brother.
Joel chapter 3 verse 6. The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Grecians. That ye might remove them Joel chapter 3 verse 6. The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Grecians, that ye might remove them far from their border.
All right, it says that we were sold to the Grecians. All right, if you look up what the Grecian is in the Strong's Concordance, it's H3120. H3120. And the Grecians, that means Greeks, all right, or Europeans or descendants of Esau. All right, so we would be sold to the Grecians or the descendants of Esau. All right, one of the main people that took us from our land was who? The European man that came and took us in ships and brought us to over here to these lands. All right, not saying that we're racist or anything like that. We just got to bring out the truth. All right. So this is a sign to know who the Grecians are. All right. Let's go to back to Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, verse 49. This is going to be a sign to let us know who the Grecians are. If we don't know, we about to find out.
What chapter?
Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, verse 49. All right, brother.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 49. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand.
All right, it says, the Most High shall bring a nation from afar against thee. All right, from one end of the earth to another, as swift as the eagle flieth. All right, as swift as the eagle flieth. The Most High knew, all right, their symbolism. All right, if you look on the American dollar, the coins, if you look on the European coins and on the flags, what do you have? An eagle, a double-headed eagle. All right, a double-headed eagle, that means it's even faster. All right, it can see better. It has 4 eyes. It can see this way, that way. It can fly just as swift as one. All right, and all the European countries use this as their symbolism. All right, and not only does it say it once, but we got to have precept on precept, line on line. So let's go to Hosea, the 8th chapter, verse 1. Hosea 8 and 1. All right.
Hosea chapter 8, verse 1. Set the trumpet to thy mouth. He shall come as an eagle against the house of the Lord, because they have transgressed my covenant and trespassed against my law.
All right, so there it is again. It shall come as an eagle against the house of the Most High, or the house of the Lord. All right, because we transgressed the covenant of our God, or the law of our God. All right, and back in Joel it says we wouldn't know their tongue. All right, so when they came and got us from the coast of Africa, the west coast of Africa, we didn't know the language they spoke. We had to learn a new language. All right, and that even put us more in a submissive position, because how can we do something that they're telling us to do if we don't understand? If they're telling us to sit still, we run it. You know, if they tell us to run, we sit still. You know, so we didn't know them or didn't know their tongue, so this made them even more angry against us and made them even want to kill us more. You know, because we couldn't understand. All right, so now that we know who the eagle was and how swift they've flown, and that they were the Greeks or the Grecians or descendants of Esau. All right, let's go to how do we even end up, all right, in the land or in the west coast of Africa. How do we end up there? If we're from Jerusalem and we call ourselves Israelites, but yet we were taken from the west coast of Africa, how do we get there? And we're gonna bring this out. But first, let me get what did we do in this land, right quick. What did we do in this land? So we're gonna go right back to Deuteronomy 28, and we're gonna get verse 30 for what did we do in this land.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 30. Thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her. Thou shalt build an house, and thou shalt not dwell therein. Thou shalt plant a vineyard, and shalt not gather the grapes thereof.
All right, it says, thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her. All right, what is this talking about? If we, as slaves, all right, had a wife, and the master found out about it, because we wasn't supposed to marry anyway. All right, if he found out about it, he would take the wife, sleep with her while you looked. While you look, and that's history. You can go look that on Google, anything like that. All right, if he found out that we had a wife and I married this sister and she married me, he gonna go lie with her, rape her, and beat her. All right, just to make an example to the other slaves. All right, because he didn't want us to get back into our ancient traditions and our ancient ways. He wanted us to stay a beast and stay uncivilized. You get what I'm saying? So if we could think to say, I want this woman as a wife, I want that lady as a wife, I want this man as a husband. All right, we're beginning to be civilized, and they already thought that we were uncivilized people. They made us seem that we were beasts or compared us with monkeys. You get what I'm saying? So that was a part of the curses that will be laid upon us for a sign and for a wonder. All right, let's get 28 and 41. And also in that same chapter, it says that we shall build a house, plant vineyards and grapes, but it won't be ours. You know, we planted all that cotton. You know, we built every house for the master and all that, but we couldn't sleep in that house. We couldn't eat that vine. You know, we couldn't do none of those things. All right, and the Bible is bringing all that out. You know. All right, so let's get on Deuteronomy 28 and 41.
Deuteronomy 28 and 41. Thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity.
All right, it says we shall beget sons. We will have sons and daughters, but they will go into captivity. All right, a lot of the times, as soon as we have children, all right, they will put them on the auction blocks and separate the families. You get what I'm saying? That's right there in the Bible, and that's history. All right, so this is a sign and a wonder for us. I don't know any other type of people that went through went through these things except for the poor around the earth. Nobody else. The children of Israel. Whenever you see the poor, all right, around the earth, you're looking at the children of Israel. When you see those little children on those on television, on those commercials with the bellies hanging down, they starving. You're looking at the children of Israel right there. You know, all those people are going through these things even to this day, all right, because it's for a sign and for a wonder. You get what I'm saying? To wake us up. All right. What we getting, brother?
Verse 48.
Verse 48. Let's go to verse 48.
Deuteronomy 28 and 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things. One of the things that we went through and suffered during slavery is if you watch the movie Amistad, all right, they got on the ships naked. All right, they stripped us of our morals. All right, we had to sit right there in front of our moms, in front of our dads, being grown men and grown women naked. We had to sit in front of the girl that we had a crush on for years, sitting right there naked in front of her. You get what I'm saying? And it stripped us of our morals. It stripped us of our mental capacity to think. All right, suffering these things, we gonna go through a depression. You know, we're gonna go through all these things that make us submit to the slave masters. All right, and go ahead, brother. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck, until he have destroyed thee.
And they shall put a yoke of iron upon our neck until they destroyed us. And one of these curses, when they shipped us on the Amistad, all right, they put what? Chains around our necks. Yokes, right. And if a man ran away to the north and he got caught, they would put a yoke around his neck, and it stuck out in 4 different places, all right, to make it harder for him to escape through that brush, all right. So he'd get caught on some limbs or some wire or anything, and they could find him just like that. It made it harder for us to free ourselves. All right. So let's get Psalms 137. Psalms 137. And this is a big one right here that I know the older generation could relate to. In Psalms 137, even the young people can relate to this. If you have those patriarchs in your family, you know, that sing songs and come together. It's Psalms 137. Yeah, you can go ahead and read it, brother.
Psalms 137, verse 1. By the rivers of Babylon, there we sat down. Yea, we wept when we remembered Zion.
All right, it says, by the rivers of Babylon, all right, we wept. All right, let me get it right quick. I'm sorry about that. All right, here we go. By the rivers of Babylon, we wept. We sat down. Yea, we wept when we remembered Zion. So by the rivers, all right, this is a song called Wade in the Water. We all know that song. Amen. Wade in the Water. Exactly. we wept as we remembered what Zion looked like. All right, go ahead, brother.
Verse 2. We hanged our harps upon the willows in the midst thereof.
We hanged our harps upon the willows in the midst thereof. That means we sang. All right, we sang under the willow trees. All right, the only places where willow trees grow is in the south of America, in England, and in China. All right. So we didn't get taken on slave ships to China, even though that we were there, all right, but we got taken in slave ships to England and America, all right? And later on it's going to bring out who Babylon is by this prophecy right here. So we can know which Babylon that they're talking about. All right, keep reading, brother.
Verse 3. For there they that carried us away captive required of us a song, and they that wasted us required of us mirth, saying, sing us one of those songs of Zion.
Sing us one of those old Negro spirituals. Give us one of those Negro spirituals. Y'all sing so well. Y'all tap dance for us. And you got to smile when you do it, because if not, we going to take you out to the back and we going to kill you. You know, so they made us smile while we did it. They made us enjoy it, right? Sing us one of them Negro spirituals. All right. All right, keep reading, brother.
Verse 4. How shall we sing the Lord's song in a strange
How
land?
shall we sing the song in a strange land? Keep reading, brother.
Verse 5. If I forget thee, O Jerusalem, let my right hand forget her cunning.
This is David right here singing this. He said, if I forget Jerusalem, because he's living in Jerusalem right now, he's the king. He said, God, if I forget Jerusalem, let my right hand forget her cunning. I don't even want to work with my hands. If I forget it, keep reading, brother.
Verse 6. If I do not remember thee, let my tongue cleave to the roof of my mouth.
I don't want to speak. Keep reading, brother.
If I prefer not Jerusalem above my chief joy. Verse 7. Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom.
Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom. All right, that's big right there, because who took us from our land? The Grecians, or Esau, or Edom. Right? Keep reading, brother.
In the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof.
It said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof. So, in 70 A.D., all right, Vespasian and Titus came into Jerusalem with the Roman army and said, raise up Jerusalem. And they took the temple off its foundation. All right, they raised the temple up and cast it off. All right, and they took all the gold and everything out of the temple that King Solomon had made. And that's what David is talking about. So David was a prophet. He sang and all that. And this is a prophecy that the Most High gave David to speak to us for a sign and for a wonder, so we could wake up in our latter days. All right, keep reading, brother.
Verse 8. O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed.
O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed. All right, so Babylon, or America, will fall. Just like every great empire, every dynasty, it has its rising and it has its going down. If it's not rising, it's coming down. All right? And so right now, in these latter times, America is slowly but surely falling. All right? All right? Keep reading, brother.
Happy shall he be.
Happy shall the Most High be.
That rewardeth thee as thou hast served us.
Mm-hmm.
Happy shall he be that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against the stones.
That dashes our little ones against the stone. One of these prophecies, all right, if you ever look up gator bait, all right, gator bait in Louisiana, our slave masters and slave owners, as soon as our women would have a baby, they would take it and put it in a cage and put a string around it, all right, and put it in the water. And once that baby started kicking and flapping, trying not to drown, it'll draw in gators, all right, and that gator will snap his mouth around the child and dash it against the stones, dash it to pieces. That's a prophecy in 137 of Psalms that David is bringing out. All right, so this is for a sign and for a wonder. All right, and we're gonna get one more. I got a couple more on here, but we're just gonna get one more just to bring it home in Isaiah 3:16. And this is for our our young sisters these days. Isaiah chapter 3, verse 16. All right, brother.
Isaiah chapter 3, verse 16. Moreover, the Lord saith, because the daughters of Zion are haughty and walk with stretched forth necks.
Because the daughters of Zion are haughty and walk with stretched forth necks. Those them girls that walk down the street, I know I'm fine. You know, I know I'm bad. Look at me switching as I go. Keep reading, brother.
And wanton eyes.
And wanton eyes.
Walking and mincing as they go.
Walking and mincing as they go. Shaking their butts as they go. Switching. All right? Keep reading, brother.
And making a tinkling with their feet.
And making a tinkling with their feet. Those stilettos. All right? All right? They sound like a horse as they walk down the street. All right? Keep reading, brother.
Therefore the Lord will smite with a scab the crown of the head of the daughters of Zion.
It says, therefore the Most High will smite with a scab the crown of the head of the daughters of Zion. Keep reading, brother.
Pardon me. Daughters of Zion. And the Lord will discover her secret parts.
And the Most High will discover thy secret parts. Back in ancient times, and we're getting back to it now. All right, our women had the most beautiful, and still do have the most beautiful hair. But how did God curse it? All these things that we put in our hair to make weave, all that. All right, if you can go on Google and see all these patches and crowns in these women's heads because they wear all these weaves, put all these bad chemicals in their hair to make their hair fall out. All right, he cursed our women's scalp. All right, and they discovered their secret parts. Back in the day, the women wore their hair real long, and they could do that, and they would cover up their parts. You get what I'm saying? We had the longest hair, the most beautiful hair out of all the women of the earth. But now he cursed the women's scalp. All right, keep reading, brother.
In that day the Lord will take away the bravery of their tinkling ornaments about their feet, and their culls and their round tires like the moon.
Right.
The chains and the bracelets and the mufflers.
All right. So even back in ancient times, they had chains, necklaces, and all that. Keep reading.
The bonnets.
The bonnets.
And the ornaments of their legs.
The ornaments of the legs, talking about the bracelets on their legs, even the toe rings and things like that. Keep reading, brother.
And the headbands, and the tablets and the earrings.
Right.
The rings and nose
jewels. Bringing it all out. Keep reading, brother.
The changeable suits of apparel.
The changeable suit. What am I going to wear today? I think I'll wear this dress or that dress or this suit or that suit. Keep reading, brother.
And the mantles and wimples and the crisping pins.
And the crisping pins.
The glasses and the fine linen and the hoods and the veils.
And the veils. Our women had their hair wrapped. You know, like Erykah Badu or those, the people that still deeply rooted in their heritage having the head wraps on and things of that nature. Keep reading, brother.
And it shall come to pass that instead of sweet smell, there shall be stink. And instead of a girdle rent, and instead of well set hair, baldness.
All right. It says, and it shall come to pass that instead of a sweet smell, there shall be stink. What it's talking about? It's talking about a woman on her menstruation. All right. Back in ancient times in the Bible, when a woman came on her menstruation, it smelled like flowers. It had a sweet smell. But now, since we disobeyed the Most High, He made it stink for our women. All right. Keep reading, brother. And it also says a girdle that rent. All right. So back in the ancient times as well. All right, our women still kept their shape after they delivered children. Look at Sarah. Sarah, even in her old age, was still, as the Bible would call, she looked good or well set. All right, that's why Abraham had to lie and say, "This is my sister," because he thought that they were going to kill him and rape his wife because she still looked well in her old age. All right, so instead of women having a baby and it shrinking right back to what it used to be, he rented. So our women would have a lot of flab, after they deliver their babies and can't get it off. They work hard and hard and hard, but can't never shed that fat. All right, keep reading, brother.
And instead of a stomacher, a girding of sackcloth, and burning instead of beauty.
And burning instead of beauty.
Thy men shall fall by the sword, and thy mighty in the war. And her gates shall lament and mourn, and she being desolate shall sit upon the ground.
All right, it says, and she being desolate shall sit upon, that's Jerusalem. After we left, our men fell by the sword, and they had to flee, and they left Jerusalem desolate. All right. So let's get into if we're the Israelites, how did we get to West Africa? All right. So how did we get from Jerusalem in 70 AD all the way to the west coast of Africa? All right. Let's go to Matthew 24. Matthew chapter 24. All right, starting at verse 15.
Matthew chapter 24, verse 15. When ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet stand in the holy place, whoso readeth, let him understand.
All right. It says the abomination of desolation. Excuse me. The abomination of desolation was by Antiochus Epiphanes. He sacrificed a pig on the altar. All right. That's that abomination of desolation spoken by Daniel the prophet. All right. Keep reading, brother.
Verse 16. Then let them which be in Judea flee into the mountains.
It says, then let them which be in Judea flee to the mountains. All right, what else, brother?
Verse 17. Let him which is on the housetop not come down to take anything out of his house. Verse 18. Neither let him which is in the field return back to his clothes.
Right, so it's saying flee to the mountains. Don't get nothing. Just flee to the mountains as soon as you see this happen. So what mountains are they talking about? If we know Rome is north of Israel, we wouldn't have fled north because they would be right there waiting on us. All right, if we fled right up into the parts of Europe today. All right, so where did we flee to? All right, let's get that. It's a book. We fled into the Atlas Mountains of Africa. All right, and that's in the book called Hebrewisms of West Africa. All right, Hebrewisms of West Africa, in page 335. All right, this book is written by, who's that written by, brother? It's written by Joseph J. Williams. All right, Joseph J. Williams. And in this book, it breaks down a lot of the Hebrew traditions that we had in West Africa. All right, and we're going to get the page 335 through 337, all right? And it shows us the route that we took from the Atlas Mountains going into West Africa and parts of West Africa, all right? And also, in the book Babylon to Timbuktu on page 84, it explains very clearly how we traveled from the Atlas Mountains going into West Africa. Because like what happened in Joseph's day, all right, the Most High, the angel of the Lord told Joseph to flee into Egypt with Christ and Mary, right? So he fled there. Why? Because he looked the same as the Egyptians. Just why Christ told us to flee into the mountains, all right, of Africa. Because why? We look just like the Africans. We look just like the descendants of Ham. All right, so they would be thrown off when they came and looked for us. All right, that's why he said flee to the mountains, the Atlas Mountains, into Africa. All right, so we would blend in with those people. All right, so why did we suffer these atrocities? All right, if we are the children of Israel, and we can prove that through the books, why did we suffer these things? All right, and we brought this out a little while ago. Let's go to Hosea 9:1. All right.
Hosea chapter 9, verse 1. Rejoice not, O Israel, for joy, as other people, for thou hast gone a whoring from thy God.
Thou hast gone a whoring, all right, from thy God.
Thou hast loved a reward upon every cornflower.
All right.
Cornflower.
So it's saying that we went whoring with other gods. All right. So this is a reason why we suffered these things as slavery and the things that we're going through now, because of the curses, all right, that was written up in Deuteronomy. Also, let's get for time's sake, let's get Jeremiah 50:6.
Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 6. My people has been lost sheep. Their shepherds have caused them to go astray. They have turned them away on the mountains. They have gone from mountain to hill. They have forgotten their resting place.
We have forgotten our resting place. And also our shepherds have led us astray. All right. So a lot of the big name pastors, all right, a lot of the big name pastors are teaching this prosperity movement going on now. All right, get all your money, get all your blessings, the blessings of Abraham. But what they don't tell us, the blessings of Abraham, all right, is our resting place. It says that we forgot our resting place. So the blessings of Abraham is not money, it's not materials, but a land. All right, the best land in the world. It's not Africa. All right, it's not any other part of Africa or Asia, but it's the land of Canaan, which he blessed our forefathers with. This is the blessing of Abraham. All right, is our resting place. All right, this is what our eyes should be looking towards. All right, Father, give me my blessing by taking me back to the land. All right, and the only way that we're going to get this land is when Christ comes back and usher us back into our land. That's the blessing of Abraham. That's the new covenant. You get what I'm saying? All right, so let's get how do we rise back again? All right, how do we rise back again? All right, let's get Isaiah, the 29th chapter. And we're going to go to verse 13. And then hold that and also get Matthew 15 and 8.
All right. Isaiah chapter 29, verse 13. Wherefore the Lord said, for as much as this people draw near me with their mouth and with their lips do honor me, but have removed their hearts far from me.
All right. So we honor him with our lips, right? But our hearts are far from him. All right. What is that talking about? We give him lip service every day. Oh, God, I love you. Oh, God, I thank you. All right. Oh, God, give me this. Oh, God, give me that. I love you for this. I love you for that. But what? Our hearts are far from him. So as soon as we get that blessing that he gives us, as soon as we get that new job, oh, I'm going to turn right back to what I was doing. All right. We are serving for a time, but then we'll go right back to what we're doing. All right. So let's also get that precept in Matthew the 15th chapter, verse 8. Because Christ, he spoke everything out of the Old Testament, or the Tanakh, all right, the T-N-K. There was no New Testament back then. So everything that came out of his mouth was the word. What word? The Old Testament. All right, so we got to still connect back to that Old Testament. I know a lot of things are going on around today saying, oh, we don't live in the Old Testament no more. Well, don't read that. You know, just stay right here in this New Testament. But the Old Testament tells us who we are.
Amen.
And that's how a lot of the shepherds have led us astray. Don't go back to that Old Testament, brother. You just need to stay in this new. All right, get this money. You get what I'm saying? All right. So let's get there. Matthew 15.
Matthew 15, verse 8. This people draweth nigh unto me with their mouths, and honoreth me with their lips, but their hearts are far from me.
Precepts. All right, precept on precept, line on line. That's how we got to get it. All right, let's go to Luke, the 10th chapter. Luke 10, 25 through 28. Luke 10, 25 through 28.
Luke chapter 10, verse 25. And behold, a certain lawyer stood up and tempted him, saying, Master, what shall I do to inherit eternal life?
So what shall I do to inherit eternal life? All right. How do we get that love of God? How do we show our love of God? All right. And what did he say, brother?
He said unto him, What is written in the law?
What is written in the law? Go ahead, brother.
How readest thou?
How readest thou? Keep going.
And he answering said, Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart.
With all thy heart. Keep going, brother.
And with all thy soul.
And with all thy soul.
And with all thy strength.
With all thy strength.
And with all thy mind.
With all thy mind.
And thy neighbor as thyself.
And thy neighbor as thyself. So those brothers and sisters that we don't necessarily like, you get what I'm saying? We still have to love them, show them our love, just like the Most High show show him our love. You get what I'm saying? Even though that we do him wrong, he still show us love. Just like our brothers and sisters, they might do us wrong, but we still gotta have that love for them, just like Christ does for us, just like the Most High God does for us, mercy and grace, right?
That's right. That's right.
So what else, brother?
And he said unto him, Thou hast answered right. This do, and thou shalt live.
This do thou shalt live, and thou shalt live. So what is the love of God with all thy heart? How do we do that? All right, let's get that in 1 John, doing the precepts, 1 John 5 and 3. How do we love God with all thy heart? 1 John 5 and 3.
1 John chapter 5, verse 3. For this is the love of God.
For this is the love of God.
That we keep his commandments.
That we keep his commandments.
And his commandments are not grievous.
And his commandments are not hard or grievous. All right. So what are the commandments? We can start first by the 10 commandments. All right. Keeping the 10 commandments. This is showing the works. Because faith without works is dead. We can say, I got faith of Christ all day long. But if we're not doing the work, which is doing the commandments, we don't love God. Our hearts are far from him. All right. So, and let's also get Deuteronomy 30 and 1 through 3 first, before we go to the commandments. Deuteronomy 30, 1 through 3. Thumb's gonna be tired today, y'all. Flipping back and forth. Precept on precept, though.
Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
And it shall come to pass, when all these things are come upon thee, the blessing and the curse,
Mm-hmm.
which I have said before thee, and thou shalt call them to mind among all the nations.
So we got to call to mind our blessings and the curses among all the nations. So everything that we went through in slavery and all the curses that have befallen us, we got to tell the Gentiles, hey, we are the people because we suffered these curses, because it's a sign and for a wonder. All right, so once we start telling other nations, as soon as we start telling the Chinese, all right, the Arabs, all right, all these other nations who we are, all right, because we suffered the curses, then what, brother?
Whither the Lord thy God hath driven thee,
Mm-hmm.
and shall return unto the Lord thy God, and shall obey his voice according to all that I command thee this day.
Right.
Thou and thy children, with all thy heart and with all thy soul, that then the Lord thy God will turn thy captivity and have compassion upon thee, and will return and gather thee from all the nations, whether the Lord thy God has scattered thee.
So he will return us back to our land everywhere that he scattered us. All right, from the north, south, to the east, to the west. All right, he will bring us back to the land on the second coming of Christ. All right, we will be ushered back into our blessing that he gave to Abraham a long time ago. All right, that's our father. He established that covenant all the way back then. All right. So what are these commandments? All right, what are these commandments? Let's go to Exodus 20, 1 through 17. Exodus 20, starting at verse 1.
Exodus chapter 20, verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
And God spake all these words, saying, I am the Lord thy God, which hath brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage.
Right.
Thou shalt have no other gods before me.
We shall not have no other God before him. Not Buddha, Allah, Hare Krishna, nobody but him. Keep reading, brother.
Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image.
Don't make any graven image, no matter if it's the cross, no matter if it's anything like that. No graven images. What else, brother?
Or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath.
Or in earth beneath. That's talking about making statues and bow down to them, like a lot of these, a lot of rich guys might have a dog that they love, and they'll stuff it and say, oh man, this is my dog right here and it's not me moving. You get what I'm saying? They love that dog, you know, or anything, you know, leopards, all that stuff that people stuff, deers, all that, and they worship that, and they might not bow down to it, but they have their pride in it. Oh, look at this big buck I just hunted. It's an 8 point. You know what I'm saying? And they all their time just reading about 8 points and deers and stuff like that. You get what I'm saying? Keep reading, brother.
Or that is in the water under the earth.
That is in the water under the earth.
Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them,
Right?
nor serve them.
Exactly.
For I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God.
He is a jealous God. So if he see us doing that, all right, he going to turn his back from us. He not even going to be a part of that. All right, okay, I see what you doing, brother. I'm going to go over here to this young sister right here because she's serving me. She ain't doing what you doing. I'm going to have my eyes open to her. I'm going to have my eyes open to these other nations. You get what I'm saying? He'll turn her back completely on the children of Israel and go to the Gentiles. All right? Keep reading, brother.
Visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments.
And keep my commandments. He's going to show love on the people that keep his commandments. Keep reading, brother.
Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain.
Don't take it in vain.
For the Lord will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain.
Right. Keep reading, brother.
Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy.
Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. All right, the Sabbath day is the seventh day of the week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. He ushered us a day that we don't have to do anything. We don't have to do nothing. All we got to do is just sit at home, rest, observe the Most High, and just relax. We always say, oh man, you know, I'm tired from work, I'm tired from this, I'm tired from that. But he giving us a day to just chill out. You get what I'm saying? Just chill out, remember me, all right? Remember me on this day, all right? And that's it. You don't have to do nothing else, all right? We got to remember this Sabbath day, all right? And keep it as perfect as we can, all right? Keep reading, brother.
6 days shalt thou labor.
6 days shall thou labor, because we know the Most High, he created things in 7 days, in 6 days, but he rested on the 7th day. That's an ordinance that he created for himself, because he rested. So since he rested on that day, he's like, okay, I see y'all working hard Sunday through Friday, but on this day right here, just go ahead and just kick back, relax. It's on me. I got you. You get what I'm saying? So we got to do that, because he did it in the beginning. All right, keep reading, brother.
But the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God.
Right.
In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates.
Nobody shall work. He giving everybody a break. All right. Everybody a break. What kind of God is this? The best God ever. Giving us a break. All right, keep reading, brother.
For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth,
Right.
the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day.
Right.
Whereof the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it.
So he hallowed the Sabbath day. And this is a day that is still hallowed even to this day. All right. We still must observe this day. Keep reading, brother. And not only that as a Sabbath day, all right, all the Sabbath days, because all the days like the holy days, the feast days, they're Sabbaths as well. All right, let's get that in Leviticus, the 19th chapter. If you go to Leviticus 19, it talks about the holy feast days are Sabbaths as well. Leviticus 19 and 3. All right.
Leviticus chapter 19, verse 3. Ye shall fear every man his mother and his father, and keep my Sabbaths.
Keep my Sabbaths. Plural. Keep reading, brother.
I am the Lord thy God.
I am the Lord thy God. So all the from Passover to Feast of Unleavened Bread to the first fruits, all those holy feast days are Sabbaths as well that he has ordained for us, because it's a shadow of things to come. All right, Christ completed 4 of these holy feast times and holy feast days. All right, and he still has to fulfill 3 more. All right, so by doing these things, we're remembering Christ. All right, we're remembering the shadow of things to come. All right, so when he does come, when he fulfilled those days, we're already worshiping and resting on the day that he comes and fulfills these. We're already doing the things that he wants us to do on that day when he comes back, if we keep it according and in line. All right. Let's go back to Exodus 20 and finish out these commandments. Exodus 20. All right.
Exodus chapter 20, verse 12. Honor thy father and thy mother.
Honor thy father, thy mother.
That thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee.
Right.
Thou shalt not kill.
Thou shalt not kill.
Thou shalt not commit adultery.
Adultery. What else?
Thou shalt not steal.
Steal.
Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor.
Bear false witness against thy neighbor. What else, brother?
Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house.
Thy neighbor's house.
Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife.
Wife.
Nor thy manservant.
Manservant.
Nor his maidservant.
Or maidservant.
Nor his ox.
Ox.
Nor his ass.
Ass.
Nor anything that is thy neighbor's.
Man, brother, you got that car, man. Why he got that car? I need that car, man. Wow, why he got that house? I need that house. You know, why he got that? Man, all that is covered. I need that. How he get that? You know, all that is covered. You know, we can't do that. You know, the Most High, he give us what we need. That brother might need that. You get what I mean? This brother might need this big old excursion. He got 20 kids, you know. So we never know somebody's situation to why God has blessed them with that. And what he's done to serve the Most High to bless them with that. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. All right. Let's after we do this, all right, after we do the Most High's will, all right, he will restore us. All right, let's go to Hosea, and we winding down. Let's go to Hosea 6 and 2. Hosea 6 and 2. I'm on my way there.
I'm going to read.
All right, go ahead, brother.
Hosea chapter 6, verse 2. After 2 days will he revive us.
After 2 days will he revive us. What else?
And the third day he will raise us up, and we shall live in his sight.
All right, is this talking about 3 actual days? All right, no, it's talking about 1,000-year days, because one day with the Most High is of 1,000 years. All right, precept on precept, line on line. Let's get that in 2 Peter 2 and 8. Second Peter 2 and 8. It's not it. First Peter. Wait. Oh,
2 Peter 3 and 8.
It's 3 and 8. I'm sorry. 2 Peter 3 and 8. Read it, brother.
2 Peter chapter 3, verse 8.
Mm-hmm.
But beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing.
Be not ignorant of this one thing.
That one day it was with the Lord as 1,000 years,
Mm-hmm.
and 1,000 years as one day.
All right. And another precept for that is in Psalms 90 and 4. All right, if you want to precept that. One day with the Most High is of 1,000 years. So these 3 days, all right, that's in the Hosea that is talking about is 2,000 years where he'll begin to revive us. All right, so 2,000 years after Christ, he's already waking us up to who we really are. All right now. It's prophecy right there in the Bible. All right, and then the third day, in the 3,000th year, he will bring us back into our land because we turn back to him. All right, what's that? It says, if my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves and pray, seek my face. How do we seek his face? Doing the law, statutes, and commandments of the Bible. All right, turn from their wicked ways. What's wicked ways? Not the things that the 10 commandments are telling you not to do.
Right.
If we turn from that, go back to him, he'll start to revive us. He'll start to, hey, you just people that's in the Bible that I gave the covenant to. You get what I'm saying? He will revive us from that. We'll teach all the nations who we really are. And those that cleave to us and really understand and not be racist against it or against the truth, all right, but cleave to us, he will usher us into the kingdom of heaven, all right, into the kingdom of God, into that land that that God promised Abraham, all right. So let's get we were blinded from our roots and heritage, all right. We were blinded from our roots and heritage. In Jeremiah 17:4, we were blinded from Abraham's covenant, all right. In Jeremiah 17:4, and this is going to bring it out.
Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 4. And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage.
We shall discontinue from our heritage. We will forget it. We will forget Abraham's covenant. We will forget the commandments. We will forget all the things that made us a great culture and have great culture. All right? We will forget that. We will lose or discontinue from our heritage. Read on, brother.
That I gave thee.
That I gave thee.
And I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not.
Right?
For ye have kindled a fire in mine anger,
Right?
which shall burn forever.
Exactly. All right? We kindled a fire in the Most High's heart that is burning even to this day, because all the children of Israel, even though we're doing it, are not all doing it. You get what I'm saying? There's people still on the street killing and shooting each other, and they have a great heritage. All right? But they have turned their backs. We have turned our backs from the Most High. All right? And we still serving in the land that's not ours.
My God.
You see what I'm saying? All throughout the four corners of the earth. All right? Let's get Romans 11 and 25. We can bring all this out from the Old Testament to the New Testament. You know, that's why we doing it like that. So somebody that watched this on the camera or whatever, they just stayed in the Old Testament. It's not right here in the New Testament. Oh, we can bring it out in the New Testament now. Let's get that in Romans 11:25.
Romans chapter 11, verse 25. For I would not, brethren, that ye shall be ignorant of this mystery.
Right? This is a mystery. All right? Read, brother.
Lest ye should be wise in your own conceits. That blindness in part has happened to Israel.
That blindness in part has happened to Israel. That heritage, that culture, have we blinded from it. Read on, brother.
Until the fullness of the Gentiles.
Until the fullness of the Gentiles, what?
Be come in.
Become in. All right? So right now, the Gentiles have their 40 acres and a mule. You get what I'm saying? They own the big industries, the big banks. They get the good corporation jobs and all that. All that is because we failed. Exactly. We failed from doing the Most High's commandments. And now he raised them up, so he provoked us to jealousy. All right? He provoked us to anger from that. Where is that at? Let me get that as a matter of fact. It's going to be in Romans 11, the same chapter.
Is it verse 7?
Verse 7. Let's get Romans 11. Let's start at verse 7.
Romans 11, verse 7. What then? Israel hath not obtained that which he seeketh for, but the election hath obtained it, and the rest were blinded.
All right, the election have obtained it, the ones that are waking up into this truth, and the rest are still blinded, just like today. Keep reading, brother.
According as it is written, God hath given them the spirit of slumber, eyes that they should not see,
right,
and ears that they should not hear.
So he still got a slumber on a mass majority of Israel. A lot of them are still in slumber, can't even wake up to the truth. All right, a whole lot of these Egyptologists and Pan-Africans and stuff like that, and a lot of people within the Christian church. Because his brothers still can't believe this. No, brother, we ham. No, brother, we ham. I can show you right here this one verse that I can bring out. You know, still can't believe who we really are. Got that slumber eyes right there. They need to wake up, get that mucus at your eye, you know. And what else, brother?
Unto this day.
Unto this day, right now, unto this day. Keep reading, brother.
And David saith, let their table be made a snare, and a trap, and a stumbling block, and a recompense unto them.
Right. So all that knowledge that they think they have, it's become a stumbling block to them. They tripped and failed. They thought they had it, but tripped and failed. You get what I'm saying? All right. In verse 11, let's read verse 11.
Verse 11.
Right.
I say then, have they stumbled that they should fall?
Have we stumbled that they should fall? Keep reading.
God forbid.
The Most High forbid, because He's waking us up right now. We're teaching it. Keep reading, brother.
But rather, through their fall, salvation is come unto the Gentiles.
But what did that say? But rather through their fall, salvation is come
unto the Gentiles.
Unto the Gentiles. For what?
To provoke them to jealousy.
To provoke them to jealousy. All right. So we failed. We got blinded. They came up on top. To what? Provoke us to jealousy. Man, why them white folk got all that good stuff over there? We still at the bottom. To provoke us to jealousy. Why they getting all the good things in life and we still stuck? You get what I'm saying? Jealousy. All right. But keep reading, brother.
Now, if the fall of them be the riches of the world.
Now, if the fall of them, if the fall of Israel be what?
Of the riches of the world.
The riches of the world. Keep reading, brother.
And the diminishing of them the riches of the Gentiles.
And the diminishing of them the richness of the Gentiles.
How much more their fullness?
How much more is Israel's fullness? If they got all these things in the earth today, how much more when we come back to the truth, how much more is He going to give back to us?
My God.
You see that? You see that? All right. So I had to bring that up. All right. Let's get on Romans. Were we finished in 11:25? All right. Let's get on Romans 10, 1 through 3.
Romans chapter 10, verse 1. Brethren, my heart's desire and prayer to God for Israel is that they might be saved.
It says, brethren, my heart's desire, this is Paul, all right, for Israel is that they might be saved. Keep reading, brother.
For I bear them record that they have a zeal of God.
They have a zeal of God, but what?
But not according to
knowledge.
But
not according to knowledge. All right, we serving the Most High right now. All right, praising, dancing, all that stuff, but not according to who we are in this Bible. Not according to that knowledge of what He gave to us in the times of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. All right, keep reading, brother.
For they being ignorant of God's righteousness,
right,
and going about to establish their own righteousness,
right,
have not submitted themselves unto the righteousness of God.
We have not submitted ourselves to the righteousness of God. And what that means is, by doing the law, all right, that through Christ, the righteousness within Christ through the law, that we can do it. You get what I'm saying? Christ was the Word, all right? So through the Word, right, He made everything, He was perfect. So we can walk in His footsteps according to the righteousness of Christ, all right? But the Pharisees, they started establishing their own traditions, all right? You got to wash your hands this time, that time, just to even go eat. You get what I'm saying? That wasn't the righteousness of Christ. The righteousness of Christ is, hey, brother, rise up and be healed on the Sabbath day. You get what I'm saying? All right. You can eat with your hands dirty. It's not what goes into a man that defiles them, but what comes out, right?
Yeah.
So that's the righteousness of Christ. We got to obey the law through the righteousness of Christ. All right, knowing that He is our faith. All right, that we can do this thing because He did it. You get what I'm saying?
Amen. Amen.
All right. So the Most High has awakened us, and we got to spread the word throughout the four corners of the earth, waking our brothers up, through the commandments, through the righteousness of God. All right. And when we do this and we turn ourselves fully to Him, all right, He will begin to usher us back into the land on His second coming. All right. And if I want to get this precept because the fullness of the Gentiles, all right, we got to know what the fullness of the Gentiles, when that's going to end. So we're going to get that in Matthew right quick. Now let's get that in. That's in Luke. Luke 21. Luke 21. Then we'll be finished. Luke 21. We're going to start at verse 24.
Luke chapter 21, verse 24.
Mm-hmm.
And they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captives into all nations.
Right.
And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles, until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled.
Right. So this happened in 70 AD. We fell by the edge of the sword, went into the Atlas Mountains. All right. And then from there, it says that Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. So what's trotting down? All right. Trotting down is destroying. All right. So they're still destroying Jerusalem right now. Look at all the wars going on right there. All the bombs being dropped. Those are Gentiles still in their land today. All right. They call themselves the Jewish people. All right. The Jewish people, if you ever break down what Jewish means in the dictionary. All right. What is ish? They had it in front of our eyes the whole time. Ish. All right. Ish is a suffix that means kind of or sort of. All right, and then if you put that on the end, being Jewish, if I say, hey, sister, you really being devilish right now, that don't make you a devil. That just means you're acting like a devil. If I say, man, brother, you being real girlish, you need to stop acting girlish, that don't make you a girl. It just means you acting like, you just acting like one. So if I say, man, brother, I'm Jewish, that don't mean that I'm a Jew or an Israelite. That means I'm acting like an Israelite by the customs, right? So it's been in front of our face the whole time. So them that are in the land today are just acting like Israelites, but really, according to the Bible, are Gentiles, right? They're of Esau, all right, because they have the fair complected skin. You get what I'm saying? So when is the times of the Gentiles fulfilled? Let's read on, brother. Verse 25.
And there shall be signs in the sun,
In the sun,
and in the moon,
and in the moon,
and in the stars,
and the stars,
and upon the earth distress of nations,
right?
with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring.
Look at all these hurricanes right now. The seas and the waves roaring. Keep going, brother.
Men's hearts failing them for fear, and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth.
So right now, we looking after those things that are coming on earth. Look at all these destructions that's happening. All these diseases being spread around. All right, it's all a plot. It's all a ploy to destroy the children of Israel. Keep reading, brother.
For the powers of heaven shall be shaken.
The powers of heaven shall be shaken.
And then shall they see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory.
Right, the Son of Man is going to come with power and great glory. And what else, brother?
And when these things begin to come to pass,
Right.
then look up and lift up your heads.
Lift up your heads, because why?
For your redemption draws nigh.
Your redemption draweth nigh. That's the end of the times of the Gentiles. Christ coming back. So they're going to be in that place right now until Christ comes back and boot them out and usher us back in. It's right there, plain and simple. All right. So we know by this prophecy right now, that the people that are living in their land aren't the true people, because the Bible says that they will be scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, which we are. We're scattered right now. But the only coming together is when Christ comes back and ushers us in that land. All right? And with that, man, we gotta, we're gonna wish you Godspeed. I'm glad that we brought this out today. I hope everybody receive edification, on these things, that we gotta turn back and come back into the righteousness of the Most High by following the commandments. This is the only way. All right. Shalom. Shalom.